Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm Pradeep Khosla, and I'm the Dean of the College of Engineering, and it is indeed a great honor and a great pleasure to welcome you all. I see a lot of happy faces. I would have expected the students to have happier faces than the families, but I guess the families are saying, thank God it's over. I won't have to support emotionally and financially the kid or the student anymore, right? But I think it was an investment well worth making. The Silicon Valley campus, this is our 8th graduation, and this campus has been around for 9 years. And it is truly a matter of pride for us to come here every year and see a graduating class. And every time I come here, the class is bigger in size. So obviously this year, the class is the biggest ever in its 8 years. It's about 81 students, and they add to about 500 graduates of Carnegie Mellon campus. This campus was started about 9 years ago, and Jim Morris had the vision to do something in Silicon Valley. And one can look back now and say that he had a truly great vision. Jim, of course, unfortunately is not here today, but he had a great vision that was supported by the administration and everybody else. And I'm really proud to be part of this vision, and it is indeed a great pleasure to come here. I come here once a month, and every time I come, I'm a happier person when I go back. It's not because of this weather, trust me. We have better weather in Pittsburgh, at least today, I'm told. At least my iPad tells me. What I want to do is kick the ceremonies open, but before I do that, I want to say a few words to the graduates. Every time I speak at a graduation ceremony, I really marvel at the quality of people we are producing. And more importantly, I look at the curriculum they have been through, and I say, thank God I'm not young enough to go through that anymore. Because I can honestly tell you, I could not put in the time, and I don't have the intellectual horsepower to graduate at Carnegie Mellon, in a master's program at Carnegie Mellon. At least today, about 30 years ago, I was okay, but my brain cells have been dying. Now, I know you have worked very hard for the last couple of years or more in getting to where you are today. And I know that you're proud of your accomplishments, and you should be proud of your accomplishments. But your accomplishments are a function of not just your hard work, but of the hard work and the support of everybody around you, your family, your friends, your relatives. So this would be a good time for all the graduates to reflect upon that, and the way you're going to do it is by standing up and looking at your loved ones and saying, I could not have done it without you. Please. Say it loudly. Thank you. And don't just forget what you just said. Remind yourself every day what you just said today. Let me introduce, first of all, congratulations to you, the graduates, and the families. Let me introduce Dr. Martin Gris, who is a great colleague, Associate Dean of the College of Engineering, but more importantly, the leader of this campus. And under his leadership in the last 2 years, we have seen amazing progress. So I'm going to thank you all and hand over the ceremonies to Martin Gris.
As always, this is a really exciting day. Seeing, all, as Pradeep said, all the smiling faces, the families, and the sense that a new milestone has been reached. For me, it's the first year, completing my first year as director of the campus, and for you, completing your degree. And that's really exciting. Our campus has been growing. Real excitement for next semester is beginning to expand into another building. You'll come back as alums and you'll see that. So it's my honor to introduce our graduation speaker. And this is Scott Dietzen, who has served as Senior Vice President of Applications at Yahoo. In this role, he helped look after Yahoo Mail, Messenger, Flickr, Groups, Answers, Zimbra, managing 600-plus person organizations and over $600 million revenue. He joined Yahoo in 2007 with the acquisition of Zimbra, where he was president and CTO. Prior to Zimbra, he was CTO of BA Systems. where he crafted the technology and business strategy for WebLogic that drove BA from 61 million to 1 billion in revenues. And he came to BA via the acquisition of WebLogic, a pioneer in Java and web application technology. He is also credited with helping put together the J2EE standard, launching the web application server category, launching the Java community process, and driving web services with Microsoft and IBM. Prior to WebLogic, he was a Transact, a developer of distributed transaction information sharing systems, acquired by IBM. I guess you notice a pattern there. Started, have it acquired, started, have it acquired, and that's probably useful advice, and he may talk a bit about that. We're proud to call him a fellow Carnegie Mellon family member. He did his PhD, MS in computer science, and bachelor's in applied math and computer science. It's really my pleasure to introduce Scott Dietzen, now entrepreneur out of residence.
Thank you, Martin, and thank you, faculty. I am both honored and happy to be here, and congratulations to the Carnegie Mellon Silicon Valley class of 2010. As far as I know, I only have one recurring dream. It's a nightmare that goes like this. It's senior finals week, and I've completely forgotten to attend a couple of classes. I've not done the assignments, not taken the tests, and I'm not going to graduate. It astounds me that this nightmare still has the capacity to scare me some 20 years on. But the good news for all of you is that forevermore you can sigh with relief and roll over and go back to sleep. My aspiration for my few minutes with you here today is to share some thoughts on how to have a successful career in technology. And as is my modus operandi, I have a top 10 list. The ARPANET is almost 40 years old, the World Wide Web is approaching 20, and yet their impact on the world continues apace. Most of you will not remember how things were beforehand. If you can, you're getting a bit long of the tooth like me. I only started programming in college. In those days, we programmed in the middle of the night because it was the only time we could get sufficient cycles that a simple build wouldn't bring our shared computer to its knees. Most of us would sleep through class or else in class in order to get the vastly higher productivity we could get in the middle of the night. Consider the contrast. My son, who's now 3, has been teaching himself the iPad, a machine with more memory and more horsepower than that refrigerator-sized mini computer that I got my start on. He has no written language yet, but he has learned how to navigate menus through pattern matching and trial and error. And while he's not programming, he plays with gaming and education applications, has books read to him, and watches videos. Unbeknownst to Daddy, he even discovered a mashup of Thomas the Train and rapper 50 Cent. And he's now a master of the touchscreen, so much so that he'll walk up to a laptop or a TV and hit it and expect it to do his bidding. Why is the TV broken, Daddy? Accessibility to computing via these true consumer devices, smartphones and tablets, is going to continue to transform our industry. Helping to make the associated software easy and elegant is going to be one of the best things you can do. In retrospect, we take them so much for granted that it is hard for us to comprehend the simple elegance and dramatic impact of the spreadsheet or the hyperlink or the touchscreen. None of us is likely to come up with anything quite so profound, but each of you has the opportunity to help change the world for the better and to be handsomely rewarded for doing so. When I returned to the other CMU, CMU East, a couple of years ago for a celebration of 50 years of work in computing, happily I'm young enough that I missed the first couple of decades, I was startled to hear voiced the worry that our discipline was getting boring, that perhaps all the revolutionary work had been done. This is silly. I've now been in Silicon Valley for going on 15 years, and I'm convinced that the breadth of innovation going on today is higher than it's ever been. 5 years ago, venture capitalists weren't investing much in databases or file systems or programming languages. And today there's exciting work going on. Moreover, the barriers for delivering innovation and technology have never been lower. So to more firmly rebut any silliness about our industry getting stale, I humbly offer a top 10 list of ongoing disruptive waves that will keep computing both exciting and lucrative for the next decade and beyond. Number 1, mobile. In the next few years, HTML5 capable mobile devices will trump PCs as the primary internet interface. And sometime thereafter, we will get the majority of humanity online. Number 2, blended realities. As we play social games, run into friends with some help from Foursquare, compare athletic performance on Strava, or just find a good coffee shop along the way to our destination, we are artfully mixing virtual worlds and good old reality in exciting new ways. Number 3, social. In addition to being a new vehicle to interconnect people, social networks are changing the way we deal with information, just as search did before it. Not always for the better, I might add. Who are all these people with nothing better to do than update their Facebook status to eating sushi or going to the bathroom? Number 4, cloud. We are stitching together tens and even hundreds of thousands of commodity machines and disks to cost-effectively deliver seemingly unlimited computing power. But the software still has to evolve to take advantage of that elasticity. Number 5, software as a service. Why should end users have to worry about procuring, deploying, managing, securing, and updating software? Expect software services to get ever more specialized, and expect integration to happen at scale between the SaaS providers. Number 6, collaboration in the large. That is across organizational, geographic, cultural, and even language boundaries. Wikis and crowdsourcing are transforming content, just as open source and agile methodologies transform software. Number 7, big data. We are crunching vast quantities of data in these clouds to improve the user experience of search, social networking, e-commerce, and so on. Like Moore's Law, our data footprint is doubling every 18 months, but we are a long way from mining the smarts buried inside that data. Number 8, functional programming in NoSQL. We are re-exploring functional programming languages, C Clojure and Scala, functional programming models like MapReduce that I learned many, many years ago, and functional data representations, all to make it easier for programmers to deliver massively distributed, massively parallel applications. Number 9, artificial intelligence. Like functional programming, AI is making a comeback. More intelligence, particularly machine learning, is being incorporated into software to make it better as well as more resilient in the face of change. One proof point I find compelling is CMU's win in the DARPA Grand Challenge. And finally, number 10, ubiquitous computing. Software is finally making inroads in areas that have historically not been well automated, such as medical care or managing the power grid. We are even recasting